Welcome to the Startup to Exit podcast, where we will bring you world-class entrepreneurs and VCs to share their hard-earned success stories and secrets. This podcast has been brought to you by TYE Seattle. TYE is a global nonprofit that focuses on fostering entrepreneurship. TYE Seattle offers a range of programs, including the Go Vertical Startup Creation Weekend, TYE Entrepreneur Institute, and the TYE Seattle Angel Network. We encourage you to become a TYE member so you can gain access to these great programs. To become a member, please visit www.seattle.tye.org.
Welcome to another great episode of our podcast from Startup to Exit. My name is Gauri Shankar. I, along with my co-host Shirish Natkarni, have been doing this podcast for a while now. And this episode is extremely exciting for both of us. As you know, we are produced by TYE Seattle. TYE is a not-for-profit worldwide organization that fosters entrepreneurship. One of its key pillars of TYE Seattle is the TYE program, TYE Young Entrepreneurs. And every year, every chapter presents a team with great entrepreneurial ideas, and a winner is selected. This is very special for Shirish and I because this year's winner at the Global TYE event is our very own Seattle chapter TYE team. So congratulations to them, and we're going to talk to the team of our Seattle chapter winners. But before I go to that portion of our podcast, I want to first introduce Mini Verma. Minnie is the executive director for the TYE Seattle chapter. She keeps everything humming, especially the various programs. And Minnie, thank you very much for being a great supporter of our podcast. And also, along with us, we have Arvind Bala, who will introduce himself soon. He served as a mentor for the team. But my co-host, Shirish, a serial entrepreneur and a serial author, and his first book titled From Startup to Exit, where we derived our name from, and his second book, Winner Take All, is available everywhere books are sold. With that said, I'll turn it over to Shirish to introduce the team, Arvind, and we're going to have a very enjoyable and informative session with our young team. Shirish.
Thank you, Gauri. Hi, folks. Welcome to our podcast. This is going to be really exciting. I'd like to start with a round of introductions. So, Minnie, would you like to go first?
Yeah. Hi. Thank you, Shirish and Gauri. First of all, thank you for doing this podcast. And congratulations to Team Soundwave. You really made us proud. And as Gauri has already introduced me, I'm Minnie Verma, Executive Director at TYE Seattle. And we do many programs like TYE Institute, Investment Outlook Panel, Future of AI, CIO Roundtable throughout the year. But I'm most passionate about the TYE Young Entrepreneur Program. This is our flagship program, which aims to inspire, challenge, and empower the next generation of entrepreneurs at high school level. These 9 to 12 graders learn from ideation to development of business plan, to development of product, to ultimately creating a viable startup. Our students express that this program has helped them with problem solving skills, improve their confidence in starting a company, and students learn design thinking, customer validation, prototyping, business model in the classroom session in the phase one. Phase two is mentorship sessions and then the pitch competitions. This cohort, 80 students enrolled and 14 teams came through. And Team Soundwave won the chapter level competition and the global level competition. And they also won best execution and customer validation. This couldn't be done without our excellent team here. Arvind, mentor and instructor. Yash Wag, he was the program chair. And I would also like to recognize Kishore Panpalia, our outgoing president. Throughout, he really supported us in that journey. Thank you all, and over to you.
Thank you, Minnie. Next is Arvind Bala. Arvind, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks Shirish and Gauri for having us on your podcast. I'm Arvind. I am the instructor for the TYE program. This was my first year doing this, and it was I had a great experience. Uh, as you teaching actually helps you learn the concepts better yourself, and I found that it personally helped me as well. Um, in my day job, I'm co-founder and CTO of Seekout, which is a recruiting SaaS company. We're a Series C TYE Global and Mayfield and Madrona funded company. And I've been doing this for 7 to 8 years. And so startups is definitely my passion, and working with high school students, helping them realize their dreams and learn new things, I think was super helpful for me as well, and also very rewarding.
Thank you, Arvind. All right, Koshin, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Koshin Sharma. I'm a rising senior at Bellevue High School, and I was part of the Soundwave team that won TYE Seattle and TYE Globals.
Great. Vedant?
Yeah, I'm Vedant Kulkarni, and I'm a rising junior at Eastlake High School, and I was also part of the team.
Great. And finally, Prithvi.
Yeah, hi, I'm Prithvi Arvind. I'm a rising junior in Overlake High School, and I was also part of the team.
Great. All right. So let's start with the product concept for Soundwave. Can one of you tell us what exactly the concept is and who your target audience is?
Yeah, sure, I can do it. So our product concept is oftentimes foreign call center agents have much lower customer satisfaction than domestic agents in America. And so our main goal was to really bridge that gap. So the whole idea behind Soundwave was to to slightly moderate the accents of foreign call center agents to increase customer satisfaction and understanding. So we're targeting agents first we're starting in India, but we hope eventually that we can go to countries like in South America, in Southeast Asia, and more.
Very interesting. I'm sure this will be a very useful product for a lot of companies who are outsourcing their customer service, for example, to countries like India and Philippines and others. So what is the technology behind this? How do you modulate the accent to make it sound more, let's say, American or British in accent?
Sure. So how it works is that we take the input from the agent talking, and next we have an already trained AI model based on American accents. And what the model does is that it finds a middle ground between the two accents. So it finds accents are broken down into like boosts in certain areas, and then lower like enunciation in certain areas. So the AI model kind of evens it out and finds a middle ground between the Indian and the American accent so that there's still some of the Indian accent preserved, so it doesn't completely wipe the identity, but there is still it is easier for American customers to understand.
Got it. So how far along are you with this product? Do you have something that you can demonstrate to potential customers as to how effective it is?
So right now we have a model. However, it takes around 3 to 5 seconds. So that's obviously not being able to do it over call. So we're right now working to get it down to around the 500 to 300 millisecond portion, which is the ideal that call center companies look for.
But even with that delay, how good is the sound quality in terms of hiding some of the accent?
Sure, yeah, we've asked people around us, we've done a few surveys, and we've got a really positive outlook. A lot of call center company managers even have expressed a lot of interest after we've shown them some of our demos. So we're very hopeful about the future of the company.
So that leads me to the question I was going to ask, which you partially answered, was what kind of market validation have you done so far to see if this is something that potential customers, call center managers would want?
I mean, so some of the market.
I think Prithvi can answer that. Yeah.
Some of the market validation we've done so far is we started off by talking to call center agents because that's really how we transitioned into this problem. And we talked to a lot of call center agents. We realized that discrimination is a huge problem for them. I mean, their job is already hard enough. They're cold calling, they're picking up calls from customers countless times a day. They're getting yelled at. So discrimination was an added factor that made their lives harder. And then we talked to call center managers who kind of gave us the other side of the problem, the real money-making factor, which is that because foreign agents have accents, that lowers their net promoter scores, or NPS, which basically makes their business less profitable. They can charge less money from the businesses using them because the agents provide lower customer satisfaction. Mm-hmm. So that was when we realized that we were really onto something and we had real traction for our problem.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Have you done any kind of estimate as to how big is this market opportunity? I'm sure this is a big market, but can you have you done any study to understand how this is? Could you be doing hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue?
Yeah. So the overall call center market, as you know, is huge. It's in the billions of dollars. However, we have some rough estimates. We think the market for a product like this is in the $100 million range, especially in. So we did most of our research in India, so we believe it's in that range as of now. And then as our product gets better and expands its scope more, and also goes to different companies, we think the opportunities are endless.
Mm-hmm. And how did you gain this AI expertise? I mean, after all, you are high school students. Who helped you build the AI model?
Yeah, so this is where we wish that some of our other teammates could have been here today. We're missing 3 today. One of them is Prithvi. He kind of helped us with management and just building this product overall. But our 2 tech guys were Dhruv Aurora and Andy Karapathy. And they've really streamlined the work on this model. And I think they did a great job of building a working, obviously latency was an issue, but they built us a model that we were able to demo to the judges in
So these are also high school students like yourself who have built these AI models.
Yeah. One of them is a rising senior, I believe, in Skyline. Mm-hmm. And we also have a rising sophomore who is in UW right now.
Okay, wow.
A high school kid, but he's in early college.
A high school kid in early college. Very interesting. Okay, got it. Excellent. Let me turn it back now to Gauri. I have a lot more questions. This is fascinating, but let Gauri continue the conversation.
Yeah, thanks, Shirish. So first, before we delve more into your product itself, how did you guys decide who will do what? Because it's a startup, you are all have similar skills. How did you self-select and say, hey, we are good at this, that? How did this team come about? And how did you decide what role the 6 of you would play? And how did it work the way you started with towards the end?
Yeah, I can answer that. So basically, we all initially we would split up when we were first thinking about different ideas, different pathways we could take. We'd split up into different groups for researching, and I think that kind of helped us bond more individually with one another. And then when it came to once we decided our idea about Soundwave, We looked at each individual skill sets, what we were good at, and what we were willing to do. And that's where we determined. So Dhruv Arora and Andy Karapathy, they're both really good on the tech side. Prithvi and I both worked on validation. So we did a lot of outreach. We met with a lot of call center agents and managers, and Vedant was really good with finances, and Pradhu was just really good with our general management, and he kept our whole team in sync, and sustained us. So everybody played their part really well, and we're able to balance it out and really control. We're able to input each part very well, and I mean, we turned out to work out really well as a group. So yeah, that's how we decided, and that's what happened. Yeah.
Great. So, part of the magic of a startup is the team getting in sync, right? I assume the six of you met through the TYE program, or maybe you knew each other but never worked as a team in its true sense. How did you see the iteration happening? Then I'll ask Arvind the follow-up question as to how he kept this team in sync then to his daytime jobs, teams in sync. But how did you six come together and kept it in sync?
I mean, I think it was actually really easy for us because I think we all like really clicked. I know, like first meeting in TYE, Koshin was the first person I talked to. We clicked almost instantly. Like we made really fast friends with like everyone on our team after our first few meetings. It was it was never really formal between us. It was really that once we talked to each other and got to know each other, like the chemistry was there, and from the chemistry it was really easy to do the other stuff because we enjoyed those like meetings. I can tell you, like I was literally talking about this with Koshin the other day, is that we really looked forward to those TYE meetings because it wasn't like obviously we meet for like 4 or 5 hours and we spend 1 hour really focused on working and the other 3-4 hours just us talking and like just enjoying ourselves, having fun. I think that chemistry that our team was built on really was like the reason why we could go so far because we just enjoyed like spending time together and we took things a little less seriously, which I think helped us with the nerves and all of that stuff. We never really had that problem.
Wow. That I think is the entire validation of TYE, how teams come together and you make fast friends. Arvind, was the teams handed to you or you helped sort of put this team together? How did that happen and what was your role in the mentorship part of it?
So I was first the instructor. I mean, they had an awesome mentor as well. And Anupam Gupta was their mentor and helped them. And I did help them once they made it past the chapter finals to get into the globals. But we had 70 to 80 students, so we actually spent some time in class for them to get to know each other. And one of the things, as you know, like in a startup, one of the most important decisions is who your co-founders are, and it's a make or break decision. And the advice I gave everyone was just don't go with your friends because a startup is more like a sports team. It's not a friends group. Like you in a startup, you have to fire your co-founders. You don't fire your friends. So kind of pick people who would be complementary to your skill set, such that you can have the greatest impact. So we actually spent time on that. And the teams kind of just organically formed together. Usually it was some set of kids who knew each other and then other kids joined. And there were some teams where they didn't know each other and we kind of helped them form teams.
That's awesome. So it looks like there were some catalyst roles that were played. Going back to the Soundwave itself, did you guys do a competitive analysis of what is the current competition versus the product that you guys were building?
Yeah, sure. I'll take this one. So there are a very few other companies that have sort of similar ideas. However, it's such a vast market as we talked about because there's so many different countries involved and there's so many different accents, so many different agencies involved. So it's like such a vast market, and really there's only 3 or 4 other people who have got there, who have even like thought of the idea. really our biggest competition is the accent moderation coaches, which is the current solution that they have. So it's a pretty expensive. It's a pretty expensive for the agencies themselves. However, annually or biannually, depending on the agency, they run training to recap what all places that the agents are kind of bringing out their accent too much and having it so that their accent gets in the way of communication. So our solution is mainly to fix that problem. So they can speak more freely and they don't have to always be thinking about that. And the agencies can also minimize the costs of the accent training while also improving the satisfaction.
I see. So, did you then think of how you would go to market with the product at the same time? Because the competition was less, but then looks like there's a current ecosystem of players that before you can reach your product can reach the actual agent, right? There seems to be many along the way. Who did you pick as a good partner, or did you say, "Hey, we'll go direct to each call center"? What was the strategy?
Okay, I'll take. Do you want to take this one, Prithvi, or should I?
In terms of partners that we used,
Mm-hmm.
I think our biggest partner was a call center manager that we talked to at Airtel. And I think he was really, really excited about our idea. So, but he couldn't, invest in our company or like offer to buy us so early in our. So what he did is he introduced us to one of his partner companies, Connections Back Office Services. This is a smaller partner company of Airtel, and they actually did end up offering us a letter of intent. So in moving forward, when we figure out that decision, those two are definitely, one of our main partners, Airtel and Connections.
It seems like each of these call centers have a technology partner of some sort, like you discovered connection that could be the way you deliver this to the call center.
Yeah, Connections is a call center partner of Airtel.
Call center, yeah.
Yeah.
So, did you, while you were doing this validation, did you come across other opportunities that were, hey, we could use this for something else? I mean, actors could use it for their accent modulation because it's not, or advertisers could use it. Did you come across things that were adjacent to what you were doing, call center?
I mean, I can answer that question, just answer in a slightly different way. The thing is, we actually found accent moderation for call centers as a byproduct. So when we first thought of the idea of accent moderation, we were thinking about it in the education space, the online education space. We wanted to build something for like Coursera instructors because we've seen videos online of like people unable to understand their foreign college professors because they're just there to write research papers. So we're going to build a tool to help with online instructors. And then I actually called a call center to return a hoodie. And we realized that, hey, call center agents have accents. And I talked to the guy and I asked him a couple questions, and it turns out that, their life is so hard. And they face extra discrimination because of their accent. One of the quotes that stuck with us was he said, they don't even speak to us as a human. They don't treat us as a human because of our accent. And that really, we wanted to do this because of the things that we've heard, like talking to call center agents, the quotes that we've heard about the discrimination they face.
That, Prithvi, is a fascinating story in itself because most startups come from some personal experience because there's a purpose that you discovered while you were doing this, and that usually tends to be the greatest reason why startups succeed because that purpose never goes away. The purpose of everybody should communicate each other freely and can understand each other because we live in a global economy and a global marketplace. I think that particular discovery of yours was probably extremely valuable in finding the market for Soundwave. Now, I have one last question, then I'll turn it over to Shirish. So you guys went through this for about a year, and you all stayed friends. Nobody fired anybody else. Um, how do you see yourself? What else have you got out of this experience? Maybe that's a better way to uh, between all of you. Each of you can speak a little bit. What did you gain out of it?
Yeah, I would say for me personally, I think, well, like Prithvi had mentioned earlier, every time we'd meet, I was really excited because I would be around a group of like-minded people, who were around my age. So we'd be able to. What I really liked about Soundwave is also that we have a really good on and off switch. One, like, so for example, when we really need to work, when we really need to, practice our pitching, we're all locked in, we're all really focused, we're able to, understand what our mission is, and everybody's on the same page. And then for our leisure time, once we're not working, we're all able to be really close friends, and converse about, whatever we really want to. I mean, during the TYE Globals event, I think we bonded even better. We just would spend more time with each other, and I felt like, that was really helpful for us. So I would say what I gained out of this, not just the whole entrepreneurial and startup experience, obviously that's what I gained, but I'd say I gained a lot of closer friends. And I feel like I've grown in my own intellect as well, just talking to these other guys, because these guys are all really smart and just really like fun guys to be around, incredible people.
Yeah, so for me, of course, as Koshin said, we became like a really close knit group of people, and from not knowing any of us to not knowing anyone to like after spending so much time together, becoming really close friends. But other than that, I think the idea of starting like a business it was always like an idea that people like always think of, but if somebody tells you like one day they're like, okay, let's start a business, and they even give you an idea, thinking of the all the steps to do and all the like where to even start is such a challenge. So I think other than the teammates, I think also like the mentors. So Mr. Bala was a big one, and then also, as you mentioned, our TYE mentor, which was Anupam Gupta, was also a huge help. So they just really like, because obviously they have done it before, so they could really boil it down and tell us this is what you need to focus on. Like this is what people are going to ask you. So I think the mentors were also a huge help for the TYE process.
I mean, I'll say a couple of things. I mean, first of all, there's obviously the entrepreneurial skills that we learned, the contacts that we made. But then for me, the one of the main things is that first of all, I'm meeting people in TYE that I'm not probably gonna meet in like other aspects of life. Like I'll give you an example. Like Andy, one of our tech guys, I probably wouldn't have hung out with him in school, or I wouldn't have met him through school. But I really enjoy spending time with him in TYE. I learned he's a funny guy. He's an interesting guy. Like it was really fun to meet these people, and at the end of the day, I made some like life memories. I made memories that I'm not gonna forget. Like I know TYE Globals, especially the trip to California, like that's a lot of stuff that just is gonna stay with me forever. Like the day before one of our finals, we swam in the hotel pool. We played pool football, 3v3 pool football in the hotel pool. Like I'm not gonna forget those kind of things. Those memories will stick with me.
That's awesome. Looks like entrepreneurs are being born every day, but this one TYE put that together. So I'm so glad that you guys saw the value in this form of learning. I know you have traditional forms of learning in high school, etc. But there's also looks like you guys got a lot of learning out of this one. It was great talking to you guys. Shirish, back to you.
Great. So I had some final questions for you guys. So are you guys planning to take this forward and start a real company?
Yeah, so we kind of split it up on people who that were like a little more interested, and then other people had like a lot of things, like a lot on their plate and stuff. So me, Andy, and Dhruv, we're the people that are more actively working on it, and then Koshin, Prithvi, and Purdue, they're always there, but they're working more on the side. So if we ever need them for something, or if so we need a contact, or we need to just ask them some questions, then they're always there for that.
So how will you manage that, given that you're still going to high school and or college? Will you take a break and really focus on the company full time, or what's going to be your approach?
I don't think I'm up to that level of commitment yet, but we're definitely setting aside some time a day. So right now we're meeting for an hour, maybe 2 hours a day. We have more time during summer, so we're meeting for that portion of time. We're focusing, we're getting some work done. We have tasks set for everyone, and that's a good thing about having more people. We have obviously us three, but then if we need some help, we also have the other three. So allowing us to split up tasks for when needed is a big help.
Right. But you do realize that at some point there will need to be full-time employees for the company. So how are you going to tackle that problem?
Sure. Well, that's obviously a good problem to have. So we hope to have that problem. But I think full-time employees, we're just gonna when we get to that point, I think we'll take some time. We'll think if we wanna go full-time with it, because when we get to that point, we're probably being implemented in the centers, and we have some funding. So if we get to a stage like that, then we'll definitely be more interested in devoting our full time to this.
Got it. Have you spoken to any investors so far to see how interesting the idea is?
I can't say that we've spoken to investors like for the topic of investing in our company. Definitely TYE contacts have been really useful. We have talked to investors about our pitch moving in, so we definitely have the contacts that we need. We just need to ourselves get to the stage that we can come back to them with a more serious proposition and really work for funding or something like that. But we have the contacts. We just need to get to the point where we can use them.
Great. I think those were all the questions that I had. It sounds like a terrific idea. I hope you guys continue to work on the product and turn this into a real company. I think there's some real merit, and I look forward to hearing some good news in the near future once you announce and release the product to the market. So with that, thanks everyone for joining us, and hope that those of you who are listening, who are high school students, will be motivated to come join the next TYE program. I think it starts in September every year, and that would be a good time to get in touch with us to learn more about the TYE program. So thank you very much.
Yeah, we just published the application for the new cohort, and I just request this team to come for the open house and share your experience with our students.
Thank you, Minnie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to our podcast from Startup to Exit, brought to you by TYE Seattle. Assisting in production today are Isha Jain and Minnie Verma. Please subscribe to our podcast and rate our podcast wherever you listen to them. Hope you enjoyed it.